Hey, family. I just wanted to jump on real quick and I wanted to talk to you about specifically to my sisters, but my brothers as well. I hope that you can wrap your head around what I'm about to say. I'm not going to be long, but I did want to get on and I wanted to talk about feeling stuck. I wanted to talk about feeling stuck and what we can do about it and how we get better. Because I know that us as women, we are tired. We get frustrated. I just want to share this live out. We get tired. We get frustrated. And sometimes we don't even know. Hold on. I want to post this in my group. Yes. Feeling stuck. Yeah, I just wanted to post that because I think that it is so very, very important, right? If I could be honest, uh that the stuckness that we feel, y'all, and I'm talking to my sister specifically today, is rooted in our not healing a lot of the times. But I know that we are exhausted, overwhelmed, and frustrated because of all of the things that we deal with on a daily basis. Being single and sometimes even being in a relationship can be tiring and overwhelming if your spirit is not being fed, if no one is pouring into you, if it's a lopsided relationship. So if you've ever felt stuck, unappreciated, unloved, and you keep attracting the wrong type of people to yourself, one of the questions that you have to ask yourself, oh, I am my eyeglasses. One of the things that you have to ask yourselves is what some of the patterns. Um, I know I'm on here early. This is not my stilo usually, but tonight I'm going to be sidebar. I'm sidebar. Tonight I'm going to be on Bars and Hoops Radio with my host Najib Smith. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We are going to be talking about us, the secrets that make us sick. Right. And I think this show is going to be dope. And I hope that all of you just tune in and watch because it's going to be really, really good. Um, yeah. So I want to talk about some of the things today. I just want to hop on for a moment and talk about some of the things that are keeping us stuck and keep us in the same place that where we keep meeting the same type of people, right? We keep following the same patterns of behavior. We keep doing the same things over and over and over again and not understanding why we keep getting the same results, right? It's a problem when everybody that you meet, every person that you meet, um, exhibits toxic behavior or doesn't know how to love you. It's a problem when everybody that you meet treats you a particular way. And so I always come back to this. The problem is not everybody else. The problem is us. Because when we don't have a standard, when we're not operating the way that we ought to operate, when we don't stand up for ourselves, when we don't stand in our truth, when we do not honor ourselves, we will always find out that it's not everybody else, it's us. It is not everybody else, it's us. And sometimes we have to pay attention to what is actually happening that concerning us. What are we doing? Hey Dre, I see you, baby. How are you? It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. I was thinking about you the other day because we haven't talked in a minute. Yeah. What is it that we're doing? What's happening um with us in our lives? Like, we blame everybody else for the things that are happening in our lives. And it's not everybody else, it's us. It really, really is. And I'm gonna be honest today because I feel like today is the day to say that, right? Like we keep saying like they hurt me. They didn't know how to love us. Hey, Audra, I see you, my love. How are you? It's good to see you here, sis. Thank you for watching. We always blame everybody else and their toxic behavior and all the things that they did, but we chose them. And that's the truth. So there are some patterns of behavior that we all possess that literally block us from getting to the love that we truly desire. And the day we begin to own our stuff and then we begin to be accountable for what we do and what we allow in our lives is the day that we can begin our healing, right? People don't bust in your door and make you marry them. People don't bust in your door and make you fall in love with them. They don't. They can't do that. They don't have that kind of power. And I think once we get into relationships, as I dealt with my own healing journey, the thing that I had to come to grips with is that I allowed a lot of things. I accepted a lot of things. I thought that that was the way that it was supposed to be, and it wasn't. It wasn't. And the frustration that I was feeling, as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, I didn't have a hold. I didn't grab a hold of what I was doing. I was always I always had the posture of being a victim. I always had the posture of being a victim. And the reality is I am not. And the moment I begin to be accountable for the things that I have done and the things that I did on a daily basis and own how I saw things, right? The minute I begin to honor myself, the minute I begin to turn my life around was when I began to accept responsibility for where I was, who I was, and what I wanted to have happen in my life, right? It's unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that it took me years to undo that, right? To not only accept responsibility, right? But to understand the patterns of behavior that I had that was allowing the wrong people to be in my life. It was when I was sometimes at my lowest. It was sometimes when I didn't think very much of myself and I allowed different things to take place in my life, right? And while I'm talking about myself, I'm also talking to the woman who feels like I am never going to meet anyone. I have a big surprise coming up for y'all, and I'm not telling anybody yet. I don't even know when I'm going to tell anybody about it, but it's coming soon, right? And part of the reason I have to guard myself, I have to guard myself against people who are off the chain, but whatever, right? But I also, after I began to heal a little bit, I also had to realize that I had some blocks, what I could call love blocks, some stinking thinking that kept putting me in the position to keep doing the same things that I had always done, right? So my question is, what are the patterns? Just name one thing that you can stop doing that would put you in position. Hey, Telly Tell, I love my sissy. Thank you, honey, for watching, right? What is one thing that I can change to stop the patterns and the behavior that I had always, found myself repeating over and over and over again? And it was crazy because I kept repeating and kept dating the same type of man over and over and over again, expecting something different to happen. And while it was a different guy that I was dating, I was still meeting the same type of man. And part of that was because I was emotionally unavailable, right? I wouldn't allow myself to be 10 toes down in anything because I had a real serious fear that I was going to get hurt again. Still not completely realizing that I was the catalyst for my own pain. It's because I didn't see myself as valuable, because I didn't see myself as strong, right? Because I didn't see myself as being enough, right? So I allowed a lot of things because I had not checked in with myself. I had not done the work. I had not, and anybody who came into my life, just dating. I'm not even talking about being in a relationship. I'm not even talking about kissing. Like you talk to enough people, and there comes a time, and I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to harp on this too long, but you know how you can get on the phone and you know immediately that the person is not for you? Like you met them at the grocery store and they were cool because this is all pre this online dating thing, and you met a nice person at the store and you would talk to them on the phone, and like the third time you talked to them on the phone you realized that they were not it for you, but you continue to have conversation with them, you continue to talk to them. Now you're 3 months down the road and they annoy you, or you know that this relationship is not going anywhere. I don't care how many dinners they took you out on, I don't care if you treated them to dinner, I don't care what you were trying to build, it's not going to work. And you kind of knew that on the second or the third phone call. But because you were bored, because you did, and you literally let these people into your life, Kim. You literally let these people into your life, right? And I'm talking pre online dating, right? When we just go along just to get along because I'd rather have somebody to talk to than nobody at all. Like I wasn't really into myself or loving myself properly. And because I wasn't, I was finding out that I had a whole bunch of people who didn't have anything significant, or weren't in alignment with me. But then back then, I wasn't in alignment with myself. I wasn't in alignment with myself. And so one of the key things that, what are some of the key things that you can stop doing to invite love in? What are some of the things that's blocking you from having a great relationship? For me, I was emotionally unavailable because I was afraid. And so the question is, what's that one thing for you? What's that one thing for you? Because it doesn't, in a real way, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing as long as you don't keep entertaining nonsense that's not netting you the results or the relationship or the type of relationship that you want, right? And so I know I'm on here early. This is not my usual. I'm usually on here in the evening, but tonight I'm going to be doing the talk show on the radio, on Bars and Hoop Radio with Najib Smith, the host of Protected Class. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm excited about that. But the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying to you is because a lot of times we are the culprit in our own story, and we do not realize that it is our patterns of behavior. It is our fears. It is the things that we dread the most that are keeping us from having love, right? And that's what I like to call love blocks. It's things that's stopping me from getting to the love that I truly desire and deserve, right? And so the question is, what's one thing that you can do to change that? And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is, healing, really and truly. And I'm gonna have a surprise for y'all sometime real soon. And I'm just not telling anybody right now. But healing is the key to love. Healing is the key to love. When I tell you that once we heal and we own our stuff, and we take full responsibility for who we are and where we are in life, everything changes. Everything changes. It is so amazing to finally it's like the sun came out, or it's like you took off those shades and now you can see the sun full out and it's bright and it's beautiful and you loving it, right? Because I finally own who I am and where I am in my life. Right. And that also took the power away from anybody outside of me to control what I'm going to do on a daily basis, because I honor me. Because I finally honor who I am and what I want for my life. And guess what? As long as I am happy for who I am on my way. I have love. I'm not even on my way to finding it. I have it. already, right? I feel amazing and wonderful because of it. So how do you heal? How do you release the wounds? How do you release the hurt? How do you release the pain? Can we talk about that for a minute? One of the things that I have written down to release yourself from the old wounds that are keeping you bound, one of the things that I wrote down when I was preparing for this is recognize your power, your patterns of behavior. Recognize what you're doing on a daily basis. Like set your day up in such a way that you have a routine, that you know, like it's the same thing. Like recognize what you're doing. Recognize whether or not you are beginning to slip back into old patterns of behavior, right? Are you saying no when you need to say no and yes when you need to say yes? Once again, are you doing the things that honor you and who you are, right? Because we can't stay stuck forever. I mean, sometimes some people can and they do. I mean, that's your choice. But that's not what you should want for your life. And while I don't get to tell you what to do, there is freedom on the other side of this thing. There is so much freedom on the other side of your healing. There is so much joy on the other side of your healing. I mean, it's amazing. And if I could just describe to you, it's like I just woke up. Like the blinders have come off of my eyes. Like, how you could just see something from afar off. Like nobody can bamboozle you to the level that they did before because now you can see. That's what it feels like. It feels like I can see now. Right? And I'm not easily fooled. Doesn't mean I can't be fooled. I'm just not easily fooled. I know things. I know the truth when I see it because I laid out a foundation. God helped me to lay out a foundation for my life. And I am not in any way confused about what I want or what I need. Like, how many of you, like, seriously have ever written down a list of the things that you need to work on within you? Never mind the list of what your relationship is going to look like. Never mind that. Write down a list of what you need and want for you, right? I can honestly tell you that one of the things that I struggle with the most in my life, and this is the truth, and I'm only using myself as the person because I don't want you to feel like I'm coming down your street. But one of the things, or stepping on your toes because I don't want to, right? That's not my goal here. My goal is to help you to see that you do not have to stay in a hurt place, that you can open up, that you can have the love that you desire, right? That's what's important. It's important for you to recognize that. So one of the things that I had to move away from, and I'm just being very transparent, I had to begin to not tell myself how I felt about a thing, but tell myself what I actually am dealing with. Here's the thing. Let me tell you like this. People can walk up to you and tell you the absolute truth, and in your mind, you heard what you wanted to hear. They're telling you what it is. And in your mind, because you want it to be something else, you hear it differently. So I would go back in the Rolodex of my mind. I would in my healing process, and I have to say to myself, Kim, they told you. They told you. You just wanted to hear what you wanted to hear. So I had to stop lying to myself. And I talk about the things that I needed to work through. I had to start loving and accepting people. I'm free to love you, but I have to love you and accept you for who you are. Not who I want you to be. Not who I think you're going to grow into. Whoever I deal with, whether it's my family or my friends, right? Like whoever they are, however they show up, whatever they're doing, one way or the other, right? I had to accept that and not try to make it be what I thought I wanted it to be. And that's the truth. But sometimes we can live in la la land, y'all. And we be like, no, but I just want this thing here to work. No, it's not going to work because they already told you that they don't want what you want. And they may not have said it flat out like that, but people tell you. And then our love is only contingent upon whether or not they treat us a certain way. And no, then that's not really love, because if you really love somebody and you genuinely care about them and you want things to work well for them, then you're going to pray for them like you pray for yourself. And you're not going to try to turn them into who you want them to be. You're going to accept them for who they are. You're not going to try to fix it because ain't nothing in them broken. It's you. As I originally said, it's not me. It's not them. I'm sorry. It's what you're willing to accept. And once I got clear about what I was doing, once I got clear, once Kim got clear, that's when the lens through which I was looking began to change. You can't make somebody be what you want them to be. You can't make them love you. You can only be the best version of yourself that you know how to be. And so when I was writing this list, because I wanted to heal from my heartbreak, I had to get real honest with myself. So honesty led me to my honor, to me honoring me. But I had to be honest first. I had to tell the truth and shame the devil. Because if I don't speak truth to myself, if I'm only lying to myself about even how I feel about them, because if my feeling the way I feel about them is contingent upon them being somebody different, then how much do I really love them? That's a bar right there. I'm telling you, that's a bar. How much do you really love somebody, like for real, if the only way that you can love them is if they do what you feel like they should be doing? Let's be honest. But I had to be honest with myself. I really did. I had to deal with, where is that coming from? And is that what real love really looks like? Am I being honest about what really happened? Who they really are? Or who I thought they was, and they let me down? And now I feel jilted and jaded because they didn't do what I felt like I wanted them to do. No, it's not about that. I feel hurt because I thought I could get them to do what I wanted them to do instead of being honest about who they really were. They didn't want it, and I knew they didn't want it, even if they didn't flat out tell me that they did. Can we be honest? Like, with ourselves. If you know you're not prepared, if I myself am emotionally unavailable, how in Sam Hill am I going to meet somebody and think with my emotionally unavailable self that they are supposed to be emotionally available to me? Hey, Wayne, I see you. I see you, my brother. How are you? Yeah. Like, how does that work? How does that work? If you're not honest about who you are and where you are, if you know that the cost is more than you can spend, you don't have enough money to pay the toll to go through to the next level in this relationship, then what are you doing? And I'm talking about emotional, mental, spiritual capital to make it through to the other side, to truly love somebody, to truly serve them, to show up in the ways in which God tells us to show up. But you keep, but me, I kept thinking that people were going to show up for me, whether I was all the way in or not. Like, I don't know where that stinking thinking came from. And while I'm talking to my sisters, this is for both my brothers and my sisters. If I didn't have enough courage, hey, Vinny, I see you, my Vinny. I see you. I see you. Yeah. If I didn't have enough courage and be honest, right? If I didn't have enough courage to love them where they were, and I wasn't willing to allow to let go of my fear, if I wasn't, then what was I expecting from somebody else as if they couldn't feel my energy? And I'm being extremely transparent because this is my journey to healing, right? It's my journey. But I also know that it is a lot of you who are watching and those who are going to watch on the replay. It is part of your journey too. Because the truth is, we got to begin to let go and own our own stuff. And the moment that I begin to be transparent and keep it real and be honest with myself, stop lying to myself, is when I can feel the chains falling. But I always made it about, and I'm being honest, about the person outside of me. When I was the one who needed healing the most in order to attract the love that I so desperately at the time desired. And now I've begun to realize that the reason why love is coming to me and flowing to me on the levels in which it is, right? Is because I've opened up, because I've let go, and I've decided to heal and be honest about where I was. I had to do that body of work. It didn't just happen for me. Now I don't care what anybody does. I'm like, I love you genuinely with my whole heart. And I really love them, even if you never chose me. If I love you, I love you. And I don't get to tell you to choose me. I love you for who you are and how you show up in the world. I love you for your sheer genius and brilliance. You are a bright light, and everybody has a beautiful, bright light in them. I see it. And I can love that part of you and never have to tie myself to an outcome concerning you. One of my favorite writers is Zora Neale Hurston. I purchased many years ago her completed works. and I can't, I'm gonna paraphrase her poem, but I'm saying this because I think it's so important, right? She says, I'm paraphrasing, but she says, I don't know how anybody can deny themselves my company because of who she is, right? It's something like that. And I usually post it during the month of February for Black History Month, but she is one of my favorite authors, writers, her, and, of course, I love Langston Hughes, but Zora is so dope. How could anybody deny themselves the pleasure of my company, right? That's not on me. That's on them, because I know also now how dope I am because of my healing. I don't have any doubt. I don't have any doubt. But I wasn't always this way. I had to do the work on myself, right? Can we even begin to make space for somebody to be in our lives, for somebody to love us? You can't make the space until you work on your healing, until you work on you, right? I can understand why somebody would deny themselves my company when I wasn't in a healed place. But now that I know, I show up as much loving as much as I possibly can. I want to I want to pour into you. Now I can say with confidence, I don't know how anybody, as Zora Neale Hurston would say it, could deny themselves my company. And I'm paraphrasing because that's not exactly what she said, but that is the tenor of what she was saying. But it only comes because I'm working on my healing actively every day. And I am not trying to heal outside of a relationship. I am healing inside of a relationship. And I'm learning to love myself even the more, and it's building my confidence. So I didn't come here for everybody today. I just came here to talk to the sister that is frustrated and is brokenhearted and doesn't know what to do. And she's tired of doing the same things over and over and over again, expecting something different to happen. Sis, it's not going to change until you change. I talk to countless men that do not understand this. They keep looking for everything outside of themselves. And you said I had to learn it's okay to deny others. I know that's right. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Beniha. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm preparing for my husband. I am preparing for my husband. For real. It's so dope. It's so dope. But the idea is the healing needs to come before you'll ever be able to make space for somebody to be in your life. You have to work on you. You have to work on what you need and what you want for yourself first, before you're ever going to get to the place where you can be happy and have joy that deep down inside, right? So here's the other thing. We have to set higher standards. Prepare to be found. That's right. That's right, Wayne. We have to set our standards because they're going to help you in your relationship. Like, you have to know what it is that you want and you need for your own life so that you don't run aground again. And the third thing is you got to learn, after you work through your healing, to begin to trust yourself again. Trust your judgment. Trust your judgment. As you heal, slowly crawl if you must, but be able, learn how to trust your judgment. Yes, when a man finds. Wayne, I was just saying this to somebody else and people missed it. They said a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. The other part of that is he also obtains favor from the Lord. So there's a lot of men out here that ain't trying to love on nobody and ain't trying to work on themselves. And I'm not saying you, of course. I'm just talking in general. There's a lot of brothers that are out here that don't even understand. A man who finds a wife finds his good thing, but the second part of the verse is obtains favor from the Lord. When you treat her good, the way that God intended you to, right? Everything changes and shifts for the man. Yeah, that part. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to be emotionally available. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to be emotionally available. Right love cannot find you if you're holding on to past hurts. The right person, even if they came into your life, if you're holding on to past hurts, you're going to push them away with insecurities, with a lack of love, because you can't give what you don't have. I want each and every one of you to understand something. My primary goal is to help people to heal, to get to the love that they desire. My focus has been on my sisters, but my brothers know that they can count on me and they can talk to me if they want to, because I'm always open and available for a coaching session if they should need it. But the truth is, men will never raise up their standards for us or treat us any better than we treat ourselves. And I should say most men. But you won't even be a spark in their lives if they see that you don't love, honor, and respect yourself. Because you attract what you are. And your thinking will align you with only basic people. But when you start seeing yourself as something more, you'll begin to matriculate upward, elevate, and people will be drawn and attracted to the way that you love yourself, to your confidence, to your self-respect, to your self-love, the way you view yourself, your worthiness for yourself. People are attracted to that. Listen, I have a few surprises coming up, but I want y'all to watch me tonight on Protected Class on barsandhoopsradio.com. We will also be streaming live on Facebook. Benny, I want to see what you said. It says it also has to be your season. It's okay for it not to be your season to date. It could be your time to heal. I'm putting that on the screen. People need to see that. Listen, Benny Ha, you are speaking the truth. That is the whole truth. And you can't begrudge that. Like, it may not be your time. It may not be your time because there's so many things. I remember God told me that. I promise he did. He said, no, not now. Like, you work on you. Like, I was in prayer about dating and, what. God said, no. He said, no, it's not your time. Work on you. And now that I'm stronger, right? Now that I'm more confident, now that I feel better emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, right? It's my time now, right? But it's not always our season to be dating. Sometimes it is. Like Benny Ha says, it's your season. It's your time to heal. And we need to wrap our heads around that because it's not always for us. And that's why we are not getting to sometimes where we want to be. It's hard to love. Let me see. Hard to love and respect someone else if you don't love it. Absolutely, Wayne. Absolutely. Absolutely. How do you respect and love somebody else and you don't respect and love yourself? How do you do that? How does that work? It doesn't work like that. That's why I have always said I only love somebody one time in my entire life. Real talk. I only truly loved one person and I still love them. I've never loved anybody else, not even my husband. I didn't even know who I was, Wayne. I didn't. How could I love him and I don't even love myself? That was backwards. And now that I got it, you know what I mean? I completely understand it now. And it's only now that I can love. It's only now. It's not like I was running around here my entire life loving people. No. I didn't even, and at the time, Wayne, to be honest with you, I didn't know that I didn't know how to love, because at the time I thought that was love. But all of it had conditions. All of it, every bit of it had conditions. How was I, if my loving you, and I said this earlier in the live, if my loving you is contingent upon what you do or what you don't do, then that's not love at all. Because love is real. Love is real. And I'm so serious about this thing. Like if the only way I can have the capacity to love you is if you're doing what I think you should do, that's not love at all. That's not real love. It's not. And I know there are people like, oh, and that's why people can walk away and get a divorce so quickly. Like if it's not going the way I want it to work, like that's not love. And I've never, and honestly, I've only been in love and loved one person in a romantic way all of these years I've been alive. Everything else has been garbage. And I don't mean garbage. I'm talking about from my perspective. Because I really did not know. And so in my heart and in my head, it looked like love. It looked like love. Because I would get butterflies in my stomach. I thought they was cute when I was a kid. And as I grew and I got married and I thought, oh, I love. No, it wasn't love. It wasn't. And I had to be real honest with myself about that. Because at the time I thought it was, until I found out what real love was. And when you really love somebody, it's not a light switch. It's not a faucet. It's not. You love them and you love them for who they are, not for who you want them to be. You don't love them because they rubbed your foot for 2 hours or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because you do that, I love you. No. I love you. I see your flaws. I see the things that you do or say or don't do and say. And I love you because I think even in spite of all of that, you are beautiful. And I'm talking about on the inside. I see your heart. I see your kindness. I see your compassion. I see how you show up for those who need you. I see how you show up for your family. I see how you show up for your friends. You are kind-hearted. That it doesn't, it's the intangible things. It's the intangible part of who we are as a people, right? That makes us beautiful. And I'm talking to both my men and my women and my sisters, right? That's what makes us beautiful. Because a lot of times we look at the external and we believe that that's the thing. That's the thing right there. It's the external. No. My love for you is not contingent upon what you do for me. My love for you is because you are beautiful. And I see you. And when I say that, it's not a woman, it's a man, clearly. But I'm saying that because beautiful is who they are. And I don't have to be with them to know this. I don't have to ever see them again. And I'm still going to love them because I love them. It doesn't mean I don't have space in my heart for anyone else. But my love for them is not contingent upon whether or not they do anything for me. And when you get to that type of love flowing from you, when you get to that type of learning to love, because you love yourself so much, right? When you get to that space and that place, it changes the lens through which you look. But I only have the capacity to love this way because I love myself. So if any of us are feeling stuck or unappreciated or exhausted or overwhelmed because of all of the things that we've gone through in our lives, it's time to heal and recalibrate so that you can attract the love that you deserve and desire. Listen, y'all watch me tonight on Bars and Hoops Radio. It's going down. The topic we talking about tonight is going to be is our secrets keeping us sick. Y'all can call into the show too. I hope y'all call in because I think this show is going to be dope. And it's a 2 hour show we're doing tonight. So that's what's going to be extra dope. So we ain't going to be rushing through. So if you call in, we could give you 5 minutes to talk about whatever it is that you want to call in and talk about. But do our secrets keep us sick? Do they make us sick? And I believe that they do. I believe that they do. Listen, y'all are so dope and amazing. I thank y'all for watching. Y'all have an awesome and amazing day. And hopefully I'll see you guys later. Be blessed.